Hello gang, and welcome to another video. Now I'm trying to sort out these USB issues of what's going on with our sims. So I did a test yesterday, last night I should say, where I was trying to do a flight and I was using FS2 Crew and only the Winwing products, no Rowsfire products. And what I found was FS2 Crew slowed down my my computer very much, so that the Winwing AGP timed out and the chrono stopped and it was giving me all sorts of issues. So I did away with that. So I was trying to use the new version of self-loading cargo this morning. It's just been updated. I can't use that because it reports that my aircraft isn't on the ground and not in a cold and dark state. Hello, I'm sitting here in a cold and dark state on the ground, but I couldn't get that working. So we're just going to quickly try a default setup, and while I've got the time. So we're just going to be using the Winwing gear. We're not using any Rowsfire products at the moment. We're just going to use Winwing. We've loaded in a short flight plan. I'm not going to be doing the whole flight. This is simply a test to see whether or not we get any flickering or USB power issues or anything like that. So I notice if your sim lags for any reason, you will get an issue. So hopefully if the sim doesn't lag, we shouldn't have too much of an issue. But we're going to just quickly try this. Now, I'm only using the Winwing gear, the Ursa Minor Joystick, the AGP, the ECAM, 2 MCDUs, FCU, EFIS, and throttle unit and 32-pack. So that's all we're using. No, not using any of the Rowsfire stuff at the moment, just to see if there's an issue between using the two lots. So we're going to do one with Winwing, we're going to do one with Rowsfire, and slowly we're going to track down and find out what the issue is with USB power, because I've been asked to look into this and I'm trying to do the best I can to look into this for you guys, because we're all having a few USB issues. Now, I'll point out the FCU is plugged in directly to the computer. The MCDUs, 2 of them, are plugged in directly to the computer. Okay, my keyboard and mouse are now running off the USB hub, so they don't use as much power. But the MCDUs with their screens, they may use a fair bit of power. The AGP itself is still running through the USB hub at the moment, although it may have to go direct to the computer. My Ursa Minor is direct to the computer on one of the ports on the top of the computer, because it does not like a USB hub for some reason. So my joystick is direct to the computer. My 2 MCDUs, my FCU are all direct to the computer. The ECAM, the AGP are on the USB hub, and the throttle unit. So let's see how we go. I'm going to quickly do this. Let's get this underway. So no one to help me at the moment. No first officer, no animated cargo, self-loading cargo, no FS2 crew. Just strictly me and the plane. And Phoenix got updated as well, guys. There has been an update with Phoenix. Alright, but let's see how we go. Fuel truck is on the way. Now, we're not getting any voice lately out of GSX either. I'm not getting any vocal out of there. I don't know why. Let's have a quick check the settings. Audio. Actually, I did notice something in my... Where did I notice? In my Windows thing, I think. In the volume mixer. I noticed last night, didn't I? Yeah. There we go. Bring that volume up. That'll help. Yeah, the Culti scripting volume in my mixer. Now, be careful, guys, of this. If you are not getting any sound from GSX, check your sound mixer in Windows and make sure that your volume is all the way up, because for some reason, every time I boot this up, it comes up to 50%. So we have to make sure that is correct. See, now you can hear them.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Right, that's fine. Yeah, now I can hear them. All right. So yeah, my sound mixer volume was down. I don't know why. But anyway, alright, it is what it is. Alright. Now, let's get some power on the aircraft, which I should have already done. Put the fuel truck in the position. I'll set the ADIRS. Now, I'm just using my Stream Deck for this. I'm running a little profile on my Stream Deck for all my settings here, which I got off flightsim.to, and I've got my warning panel on the little Stream Deck Mini. But I've got my main profiles on my Stream Deck. That is a free profile from flightsim.to. Okay. I'll just turn that brightness down a bit on the FCU. There we are. Alright, we'll set 32,000. Set 32,000 on there. Okay. Start programming in the I'll start programming in my flight into the MCDU.
Please use your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
Alright, we'll just check on that because that should be loading in the fuel. Flight information, request data. Alright, fuel's loading. Yep. I've noticed they fixed up GSX now that it actually reports how much it costs you to fill it up as well, which is cool because it was always showing up 0, and it shows you how much fuel is loaded. And I'm just setting up my MCDU. Now, the only thing I'd like to do away with is the information boxes popping up at the top. Does anyone know how to stop those information boxes popping up the top when they come up in the corner here, showing this like this? I want to turn that off. I don't want that on, if possible. But anyway, maybe you can't do it yet. All right. 5, 32,000. Get the wins. So as I say, this is just going to be a very quick one. We want to just see, and I've already noticed that my AGP, the chrono clock has not come up yet. So there's a problem straight away. Why has that not come up? I don't know. So I'm just going to quickly check my USBs on that. I'm going to quickly unplug it and plug it back in. Wrong one. Alright, okay. Now we've got that going. So you got to make sure that everything's up and running beforehand, because we don't want any issue. Alright, I'm going to do the wind thing again. Insert the uplink. Departure, runway 14. 25. Sydney, arrival, 16 right, 484 alpha. Alright, so we're good there. Alright, so the MCDU is now programmed. All right. Now the biggest
Requested.
the biggest telltale sign of the issue last night was the chrono stopped. Now the USB hub that's plugged into, I have both TP links, so 2 high quality TP link USB hubs that cost me around about $60 to $80 each. These were recommended by Santi from SL3. He uses those, so I took his advice and got those. The one that the AGP is plugged into is a 3.3 amp and has the matching 3.3 amp power supply to go along with it. The other one, I'm not sure of the specs, so I'll get that for you later on. So this video series might be a couple of videos, but we're going to try and track down USB issues. I'm also going to be looking at getting USB cards that actually work on the motherboard of the computer.
We are ready for pushback.
We will try and find out all these USB issues, whether it's a conflict with Rowsfire and Winwing, whether it's just a power draw from Rowsfire, whether it's a power draw from Winwing, whether it's a possible software issue, add-on issue to our flight sim that could be causing it,
Checks completed.
because a lot of us use add-ons and some of us don't.
Passengers boarding starting.
But we will just see how we go. So I don't have any add-on. I've stopped FS Realistic. It was great, but it was unfortunately it was slowing down my system as well.
Locking gear.
Alright, let's have a look at what else we need to set up here. I'm going to just turn that on now, make sure it's ready to go. And I'm just going to bring up the lighting a bit. There we go. And I'm just going to turn this to RA now, just so it's on. Right, that's all we need there. Let's put this one on as well. Alright. Should be all I need there, so we don't need anything else done. I'll just check my overhead now. Actually, we can start the APU. Turn this on, this on, this on, that on, which I should have already had on, I know, but yeah, I'm just trying to think here, so I'm not fully on. Alright, switch all the fuel pumps on. Anything else I need to change here or do? No. I'll get the bleed on shortly. Once we're ready to go. All good. Okay. Okay, so I've noticed it now. The AGP has stopped working again with the chrono. Yeah, so you can see for yourself, guys, the chrono and the AGP has stopped working. This may be an issue because I've clicked out of the window at one stage there. I clicked out into another window. I don't know when it stopped, so I'm just going to unplug it again. We're going to try and find out what's going on here. Plug it back in again. So it may be that the AGP will need to be directly into the computer. Possible. But we'll keep an eye on it again. I'll have to go back through this video to see when it stopped, because I'll know what I was doing. But I'm just gonna stay in this window now. I'm not gonna click out onto another window or browser or my recording window. Just going to stay on the flight sim window. But it may be that will require to be plugged in directly to the computer to avoid any power conflicts. Okay, so it just stopped again because I was mucking around with the ports on my computer and my joystick disconnected. So now I'm just going to plug it directly into the computer. I've got a USB extension to go into the port at the top of the computer, and we're going to see if that works. And is it going to work? Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe the USB extension won't work. Oh, that doesn't look like it's enough power for it at all. Okay. I see it flickering, but it's not actually coming to life, is it? Alright. Let me just try one thing before I go the hard yard. I'm going to stop SimApp Pro and reload SimApp. Oh, SimApp Pro has stopped. This is what's happened. SimApp Pro has stopped. So that means that SimApp Pro must have crashed. Okay, let's have a look at what's going on here. We get SimApp Pro up and running. Will our chrono come back on? It seems like our USBs are having a bit of an issue now. Right, okay, our chrono's back on. Alright, everything is on. Yes, we are still in the normal mode. Okay, alright. So now the AGP is running directly into the computer, not through a USB port. Okay. We've got everything connected. We've got our AGP, that. Where's our throttle unit? Where is our throttle unit? Hasn't come up yet. It's lit up, but it's not. So it's lit up. It's still flickering, but it hasn't come up here in devices, which is strange. Okay. I shall endeavour to try one more thing. Actually, do we have... That's fine. Okay, alright. Let's see if... Where did I plug my throttle one into? That's one of these. Let's see. That's the ECAM. Alright, so now I have to find out which USB hub had the throttle unit, because the throttle unit's not showing up in SimApp. Alright, there's the throttle. I'm going to plug it into a different USB hub. And now, did SimApp crash again? No, there it is. Okay, now the throttles are back. We have now all of our Winwing gear back running. Everything looks fine on my end. The chrono's running. As I say, the AGP is now plugged directly into the computer. I've swapped USB ports for the USB hubs for the throttle. Let's see how this configuration goes. Alright, so I think I've got a flicker then of the throttle. I've got a feeling the throttle's going to need to go into the computer as well. But we'll see what happens. We've got to keep our eyes on that chrono. As long as that's ticking up, it should be okay. But I did notice a flicker then on the throttle. So we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, so let's see how we go this time. If there's any case to answer. Alright, the aircraft is loaded. Alright, so I can send that to the MCDU. And go over here. Get the load sheets. Option 1F. Sync. Calculate. Send to the MCDU. Alright, and that is now sent. Our MCDU now has the values it needs. Check the barometric air pressure. Thank you. Alright, so we're good. We are ready for the pushback. Alright, so let's go and get the pushback. Okay. Let's do that. Let's just do that. Yeah, I'd like to get rid of those pop-up boxes. I really would. Alright, I'm going to stay in this here.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Alright, so it is a matter of just finding out what is going to work and what's causing USB issues, guys. So we're just trying to find out. Maybe I need another USB hub. Maybe I need a more powerful one.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
And as we add product and product and product and use our USB hubs, we're drawing more and more power from the computer. So we're not sure. Each USB hub is supposed to handle 127 USB devices. Having said that, these devices require more power than our computer ports, our USB ports are handling. So anyway, we'll wait and see how we go. So the only devices now on the actual USB hub is the throttle and the ECAM. So the ECAM and the throttle unit from Winwing are on hubs. Everything else, the AGP, the two MCDUs, the FCU and the joystick is directly into the computer. So we just have to wait and see. So all trial and error, isn't it? All trial and error. But if this video helps not only myself, but helps you guys out trying to understand what the issue is, then we would be good to go, right? Alright, so we've got to remove the shocks. So we've got to put our beacon light on. So we'll do that. So if we're good here, yep, we can put our beacon light on. That'll disconnect our ground unit and chocks. There we go.
Release parking brakes, please.
Alright, brakes are off.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright. Turn the bleed on. Alright, starting engine 2. Alright, the chrono's still working. I was a bit worried then for a minute. I thought, oh no, is it stopped? Turn the brake fans on while we're taxiing, just to keep the brakes cool. I've noticed that Jetstar actually do this. They keep the brake fans on whenever they're taxiing, just to help cool the brakes, keep the wheels nice and cool. Alright, engine 2 is started. Engine 1 starting.
Please set parking brakes.
Alright, brakes are set. Okay, is everything else set here? Yep, I think so.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Alright, set flaps to 1, spoilers are armed. Auto brake to max. Alright, at least our chrono is still working. We'll put the terrain on ND for the first officer. Now there is a way, people have been asking about the terrain on ND on the Winwing unit. Can it be set for the captain's side? You can, but you know, you don't. It's normally captain has the weather and FO has the terrain. That's the way it normally is, I'm told, in real life. But you can easily reassign that button for the captain's side, and in a later video I will show you that. But it's not too hard to do. It's just a simple button and just a configuration. You can do it probably in the controls of the flight sim itself. Okay, the chrono is still working, so we're still good there. Alright, check our flight controls. Alright, flight controls. All good? Okay. Hydraulics are good. Okay. Alright, okay, so that's all good. So far, now since we've backed up and since I've put the AGP directly onto the computer, everything is settled down. So far. So that's a good sign, guys, at the moment. Alright, okay, let's get this puppy taxied out. Let's see if we get any more flickering. So we'll just put the taxi light on. And what else do I need? That's all I need, isn't it? Yep. Just turn that up just to make sure. Okay, yeah, that's all I need. Okay, alright. So I think we're ready to taxi. So let's start taxiing. Now what we're looking for is any flicker at all from the USB, any flickering at all of lights or anything like that, which will indicate a disconnection or a fault in the USB. And we're just going to let the plane pick up speed on its own. We're not going to increase any throttle, because that's what they don't do in real life. They just let the plane pick up speed on its own. So it might be just a matter of USB port location. It might also be a matter of add-ons, how many add-ons you're running. So as much as I like FS Realistic and FS2 Crew, those add-ons just slow down my sim and slow down my computer, so there's no point having them. I normally just use FSFO, Flight Sim First Officer, but I wanted to test out a couple of other products, and self-loading cargo, since the update, I'm going to have to see what's going on there, because now it reports that the aircraft's not on the ground and not cold and dark when it is, so I can't start that one up at all. No doubt somebody else has already been onto that as well, so we'll just have to wait and see. So just remember, at the moment I'm only using Winwing Products. I'm not using any of my Rowsfire stuff. None of that is plugged in at the moment or switched on, because I've got that all running through MobiFlight. I do not have MobiFlight running at the moment. It is possible too that MobiFlight could cause USB issues, because it's still in beta, it's still developing, it's still learning, still growing. So it could be an issue there. There could be a multitude of issues of why we have these problems. Right. Just haven't got that on. I don't know if I've got it set to talk to me or not. Is the weather radar on? It is. Yep. Alright. Alright, okay. So far, so good. Alright, speed is 24. We can start to slow down in this corner. We can turn the... No, we'll leave the brake fans on at the moment. Alright. Alright, slowing right down. Approaching the runway. Alright, we'll turn the brake fans off now. As we line up on the runway. Alright, we get our landing lights on and our strobes and all that we need. And put that into takeoff as well. Strobes on. I overshot the lineup mark a little bit. That's alright, we'll fix that up. Alright. Okay, alright, away we go. Flaps are set, spoilers are armed. Auto brakes are set. Speeds are set. Alright. There we go. Chrono's still working. Alright. Man flex, SRS and runway. I don't have rudder pedals either, guys. At the moment I'm only using my joystick, so the side movements of that are my rudder at the moment. Right, V1, up we go. Positive rate. Gear up. Oh, I've got to bolt this down. There we are, gear up. I'm still working on a way to fix that properly yet for my desktop setup. I'm building a proper desktop setup, and we'll be sorting all that out down the line. I've got quite a few ideas that I've seen, so we'll get that sorted out. Alright, how are we going? We're okay. Profile's good. Alright, put autopilot 1 on. Autopilot's on. Levers to climb. Alright, flaps up. Flight directors are on, yep. Spoilers disarmed. Of course. Okay, so everything's looking really good right now. So I'm going to let it go for a bit. I need to start getting myself organised for work. So I'm just going to leave the video, leave the camera on, and just see how we go, guys. Hopefully we won't get any flickering. I'm going to concentrate on that chrono. So let's see how this goes, and I'll be back shortly.
A few moments later.
Since I put the AGP into the computer, I have ordered a 7-port USB 3 PCI card for $26, and I'll put all of my Winwing stuff onto that, and that should solve that issue. I think USB hubs are not all they're cracked up to be, but so far so good now with the Winwing. So as I said, the only thing that's plugged into a USB hub now is the ECAM and the throttle, and they've been working fine. The MCDUs, 2 of them, the FCU and the AGP and the Ursa Minor Joystick are all plugged in to direct to the computer. So I think that's solved half that issue, or most of that issue. Alright, we'll pop the gear down, do a full autopilot landing here. Full auto land.
100 above.
Looks nice, the approach looks good.
Minima.
Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Retard.
Retarded. Nice touchdown. Alright. Reverse. Decel green. 70 knots. Thereabouts.
Retard.
Okay, oops, forgot to turn the spoilers off. Alright. Flaps up. Alright, let's get off this runway. Put the brake fans on. Get the APU on. Landing lights are off. Taxi lights on. Crossing runway 2507. Turn the weather radar off now too, and the predictive wind shear. I hate it sometimes when you got to use the mouse. That's better. Turn the terrain off as well. And quickly just set the gates. D52. I should have done that before landing actually. I normally set the gate before landing. Turn the taxi light off before turning into the gate so we don't blind the marshallers and the ground crew. Just going slowly. Right, stopped right on the money. Parking brake is on. Excuse me. Turn the brake fans off. And shut down engine 2 and shut down engine 1. And we can turn the wiper off too. So there we are, guys. Now I need to turn the beacon light off. Yeah.
Boarding requested.
My APIS unit disappeared. I don't know why, but anyway. Alright. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you found this informative. Still trying to find out why Fly Tampa haven't fixed up this issue with the gates. They haven't updated Sydney Airport for a very, very long time. And I wish they would, because that looks terrible. But anyway, it's just one of the little annoying things. Look at that, perfect parking. Perfect parking. Did I park right on the 320? Oh, look at that. Look at that for a parking job. Jeez, what a good boy I am. Hey, alright. There we are, guys. So, yeah, I hope you found this video enjoyable, guys. And I hope you found it informative. So that's what it comes down to. It's all to do with getting your USB devices sorted out. So if you're like me and you're using Winwing Products and Rowsfire, I'm going to eventually find out what's a better way. But at the moment, I think ordering the 7-port PCI expansion card for the motherboard is probably the best way to go. I don't think USB powered hubs are probably the best way to go for a sim. But anyway, I've got 2 PCI slots. I've ordered 1 card. If it's successful, I'll order another one and see how we go. Might have to increase the power supply on the motherboard. Might have to get a bigger PSU. So I might look at that as well. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for watching and stay frosty, and we'll catch you next time.